Welcome to the Black Script Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today our guest is an author, a writer, a director, and a producer. And you could probably also say he occasionally acts in his own films. We have Vernon Williams III. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, man. Appreciate you having me, Kev. Hey, man, you're doing a good thing here, man. So I really appreciate you reaching out.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I want to be able to give everybody a chance to get on this platform and speak to what it is that they do. And I love to, shine light on Black and Brown talent, showcase that there are a lot of us in this field, and just show that there's different ways, different avenues to get into this business. You don't necessarily always have to be an actor. You don't always have to be a writer. You can be a multi hyphenate and wear many hats and find your place in this business.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, without further ado, I like to start with a very simple question. A lot of our guests might find it difficult to answer, but it's a very simple question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. And that question is, who is Vernon Williams III?
Who am I? I am a husband, father, brother, nephew. I'm a man of God. I love being around my family. And I truly have a love for the gifts that God gave me, my craft.
Mhm.
It's not a hobby. It's not something to do. Um, I love doing it. And now being a disabled veteran, where I'm able to, work from home every day, and really get a lot of things done, it allows me to really flow in my craft. So,
Right.
that's who I am. I'm a man that loves his family, and I'm a person that wants to see everybody win, especially now in this time of the independent Black filmmaker. Independent
Yeah.
is putting the power back in the hands of the creator,
Mhm.
or the creative, and and that's what I want to help do. I want to help filmmakers just be creative and get your gifts out to the world, and help you know how to do that. So, that's my space, and I call it my own little lane,
Yeah.
and I'm just I'm staying in my lane and clapping for everybody else, but I'm just focused on what I need to get done.
Absolutely, man. And first and foremost, before we get into your lane, I want to say thank you for your service. I heard that you said you are, proud disabled veteran. Um, I was not in the military, but my parents were former Marines, so I understand, and I definitely commend you for your service, man, because we all have our place in this world, and to be able to fight for our country and serve for our country is very
Yeah.
important. Hmm.
Yeah. I had a great time, learned a lot, and like you said, we all got a purpose. We all got gifts.
Right.
And it's just if you tap it into your gifts, how you're using that to move forward. So I was
Yes.
proud to serve my country in the U.S. Navy. uh,
No, that's good, man. That's good. How many years did you do, if you don't mind me asking?
10 years.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
10 years right out of high school.
Wow.
Um, got out of the military, went right into hotel management. My first job was at the Grand Hyatt, Washington, D.C. Did 18 years hotel management, and just went full-fledged into theater. Um, and
Well,
now,
yeah, I was gonna say before you get into that we
yeah.
going there.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, we going there. I want to start by saying you've written 16 plus, possibly plus 16 plus stage plays, some of which were sold out productions at the Lincoln Theater, and
Mhm.
you are also the first to get a stage play shown at the MGM in National Harbor. That's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah. A lot of my stage plays that I wrote were in the church,
Mhm.
when I was at Evangel Cathedral, and wrote plays for other churches back in those days, and branched out doing my own stage plays after the last stage play I did and wrote and directed for the church at Evangel. Started doing my own stage plays. Partnered with a good friend of mine out of Orlando, Florida, and
Hmm.
licensed a couple of his stage plays to got started with those. Um, then had another partner, and we did some stage plays with them. Which whose stage play was the one that was at the MGM National Harbor. Um, so I was hired as the director for that particular production.
Wow.
So man, just really getting into this field, getting into um, and learning. That's my whole thing. I'm gonna talk. I want to learn. So for me, when I started out as an actor, I got signed to an agency and did a lot of traveling. Going to auditions from New York to Richmond, to Philly all the time. And then at a point of doing stage plays as an actor, I started noticing behind the scenes. I started noticing backstage, and a stage manager one day said to me, Vernon, next rehearsal, you coming back here. I'm gonna show you something because you know the acting stuff. You the first one to know your lines. Come on back here. Let me show you how to manage the stage. That was
Oh,
God right there.
right,
Because when that lady took me under her wing and showed me how to manage a stage, the points of a stage, and I mean, it's like now if I stand in the middle of a stage, it shows up as a diagram to me of where I'm gonna put somebody and how I'm gonna place somebody. And so just learning those things, and then learning lighting and
right.
sound. And, I wanted to learn everything. So that really, pushed me into directing stage plays. And I took writing classes. So that's what kind of propelled me into that. The theater part of it. But then as well as and I know you're probably coming to it, how I got into film.
So, okay, before we even get to TV and film, like I mentioned earlier, and you were just describing working on the stage plays, but outside of the stage plays, once you were familiar with productions, you also brought other productions to this area, and particularly gospel productions. Can you speak on those real quick?
Yeah, so those productions, like I said, those were all done at the church at Evangel Cathedral.
Okay.
Bringing in major gospel artists, musicians, for certain shows. Those are all done through Evangel Cathedral at that
Mm-hmm.
time, which was a blessing for me because it was free education. That's what I
Right.
call it. It was free education. I was learning on the go. Learned a whole lot. I have relationships now with these mega gospel artists that I could reach out to and say, hey, what would you cost to come in town for this show? And they'll come because I built that relationship with them. So just really proud of that. But theater, man, and I'm gonna say still is like that was my first love. Like I love theater. I love it, and it was the backbone of the things that I do now. I still have a theater mindset in telling stories in
Mm-hmm.
film. So putting that detail in certain things.
Well, let me ask, because you got your start in theater, and before you had the education, you mentioned that you were acting in theater. At what point did you know that this is what you wanted to do, acting wise, before even getting into the production side?
Oh man, when I was in drama club at Crossland High School,
Okay.
I knew back then, like man, I want to do this. And after high school, um, young black man, what am I going to do? I'm not going to college. What am I? I get a job. I had a job. I got bored with that job.
Hmm.
And that's back in the '80s, early '90s. All of the killing was happening. So
Yeah.
I rolled out and joined the U.S. Navy.
Right.
Gone, and that was like um, that was my break from the things that I wanted to do with acting. But even in the military, I did, shows on base in the military in Jacksonville, Florida. So, it
Really.
was things that kept me going. Not as much because I was always at sea or coming, something like that. But when we had
Mhm.
downtime, I did one show on base. It was pretty cool little show we did. But then it's not till when I got back home to DC, when I got stationed back home in 1993. Um, that was when I really got back into acting, and I got signed to Linda Townsend Management, and I started really, doing my thing in acting, and I was loving it. And then around 99 is when it switched.
And that's when you started to get into the production side of things.
Yeah.
And the nice young lady, put you under her wing and kind of showed you some things as far as how everything goes for production. Do you happen to know her? Do you recall her name?
Yeah, she actually, so she's no longer with us. Her name is Miss Sonia Pratt.
Okay.
She's no longer with us. Man, she just really she was like auntie, you
Yeah.
know. Vernon, come on here. You ain't got to do that today. Come on over here. You with me today. Oh,
Right.
okay. So and I like that because it really taught me a lot. It really showed me, you
Right.
know, things I thought I knew that I didn't even know.
Right. And that was God also, showing you another way, and it was also allowing him to use her as a vessel to be able to teach somebody else and pass it down, pass it
Pat it
along.
down. Yep. Yep.
So when did you develop your passion for writing? I know you got into the acting, and then you got into production. Was writing somewhere in the middle of that?
Writing, really, writing kicked in around about 2012,
Okay.
when the Bishop at Evangel Cathedral wanted the Christmas production revamped.
Hmm.
And he had just hired me as the director of the production. He said, Vernon, I want the show revamped. Can you give me a new script? And right there is where it was like I had to put something together in about 2 weeks because he wanted to see it.
Man.
So, me being in the Christmas production for so many years as an actor, I knew how it flowed. I knew the song placements. I knew all of that. But it was okay. How can I rearrange it?
Hmm.
And just rearranged it to more drama, more acting, vice just singing and dancing. I rearranged it to more of acting out Joseph and Mary's biblical life and
Right.
things of that nature, the birth of Christ, just acting out those things, vice just singing them, having
Hmm.
them in scenes with mangers built and we had the big mountains and we had Jesus going up in the ceiling and it was like, it was the best thing popping back then.
Right.
I would say, but Glen Arden is killing it now. They're killing it. Josh and Anthony killing it. Those my boys. I love them, man. But for me, writing kicked in about 2012, 2013 is when it really kicked in, and they wanted the Easter production revamped. They
Hmm.
wanted cause some shows that they did a long time ago. They wanted them brought back, like The Bride. Rewrite The Bride. Let's bring that back. More Than Triumphant. Rewrite that and bring that back. So it was
Hmm.
certain things I had to do. Um, and then for me, really, when writing really kicked in, honestly, the pandemic.
Oh man. Yeah. Right.
Oh man, the pandemic, God put me on a mission.
Yeah, when you have plenty of time on your hands, you have all the time in the world to, like, let me try my hand at this. Let me see how good I can get, during
Mhm.
this time, and see, man, let me see how many projects that I can actually
Yeah,
complete.
yeah,
So once all this is over, I can hit the ground running.
yeah. That's right. That's right. And that's what I did. That's what I had some people who really during the pandemic really showed me because at that I had a stage play that I was doing called The Pastor's Love that
Mhm.
was supposed to happen the weekend that the world shut down.
Oh,
And I had
it was supposed to be live then.
yeah, the weekend that the shutdown happened was my show, and I had to cancel it. And
Wow.
um, the pandemic during the shutdown, the first part of it, I was in a mode of, "Dad, God, what am I gonna do now? Like, what am I gonna do?"
Right.
And you know, uh, God just told me, "What you mean? What you gonna do? I gave you gifts.
Yeah.
It's up to you to enhance them. You got
Exactly.
everything you need right inside you."
Hmm.
So I reached out to a couple of friends of mine that really gave me the tools to show me the film game. And I didn't take the pandemic and just sit around watching TV, chilling, relaxing, gaining weight. Well, I did gain some weight, but I didn't do that. I studied film.
Right.
I'm talking about I studied screenwriting. I read books.
Mhm.
People like my good friend, I called him my little big brother, Howard Gibson of them Gibson Films. Him and Crystal is like family to me. We grew up together in Sea Pleasant. Howard gave me a lot of insight on the film game, like stuff I didn't. I was like, wow, how you know all this stuff, Howard? But he been doing it for so long. But he said,
Right.
I'm gonna show you, Vern. My good friend Eric Jones at Real Brothers Productions. Eric and those guys sent me things of how to schedule and man, just so much stuff that they showed me, and I just took all that stuff and ran with it during the pandemic, just really studying.
Right.
Came out of the pandemic with about 7 film scripts.
Wow.
Um, and I said I wanted to test something, so I shot my short film, His Secret, first. That's on YouTube,
Okay.
and we shot that and did really well on YouTube. And I really just wanted to just shoot that to see if I could do it.
Mhm.
I wanted to prove something to me. Okay, you did all this during the pandemic. Now we coming back outside. It's time to show what you can do.
Right.
So, we shot the film. Came out pretty good for my first project. Did well, and okay, we did that and moved on to the next thing.
Okay.
Um,
Well, now right there.
all
I,
right.
I want I want to stop you right there. Just to kind of backtrack and go over some of the things that you did. So during the pandemic, you wrote a lot of uh, features. You took the time. You read up. You did your homework, and you focused on being a better screenwriter.
Yes.
So you figured out how to transition from writing plays
Yep.
and stage productions to writing screenplays. What were some of the books that you read, or if you could give me an example of one of the books that you read that helped you?
So one of the books that I read that my guy in L.A. And he's an attorney, and Jelani James.
Hmm.
Jelani called me one day. We was talking on the phone. He said, "Vern, I see you. Every time I talk to you, man, I see you really trying to make this transition." He said, "I got something for you, man." He says, "The best kept secret." I said, "What you got?" He said, "It's a book called Save the Cat."
Yes. Yeah.
He said, "Read this book, dog. That's all you need to do. Read this book right here. Study it. I guarantee you're going to come out of this thing a better writer."
Mhm.
And that's my blueprint. Save the cat, scene structure, all that.
Right.
I teach online workshops now, and I teach Save the Cat principles to new writers that say, "Hey, I want to learn how to write screenplays. Here you go, right here," and I break it down for them. So that was the main book right there that really helped me, show me the way. Um, of course, you got screenwriting for dummies and stuff like that. But
Right.
Save the Cat, that's the
Yeah.
blueprint. That's it
Yeah.
right there.
That's the main book that a lot of people, recommend, swear by, get into this business knowing, and they follow that formula through and through. Um,
Hmm.
and some people might take some principles and kind of veer off and
Oh
create
yeah,
their own, create
yeah,
their own style and the way they do their writing. But for the most part, Save the Cat is a lot of people's structure.
yeah,
But
yeah.
okay, so you have 7 features you come out of the pandemic with. You shoot your first short film, and you utilize this time as I'm going to prove it to myself. This is going to be my test case
Hmm.
scenario, and see how far I can take it, see how good I do on my very first project. And then you create that very first project, you put it on YouTube. Um, what was the reception at that time, and where did you get the confidence to move forward beyond that?
The reception was well. I think people were well. The feedback I got from a lot of people, they were shocked.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you was just doing stage plays, bro. You came out of the pandemic with a movie,
Right.
and and but it wasn't to prove anything to anybody. It was
Right.
for me.
Yes.
It was for me. My wife. I just out of the blue told my wife one day. I said, "I want to shoot this short film."
Mhm.
She was like, "Really?" I said, "I just want to just see if I can do all the studying I've been doing. I need to put it to some work." So she was like, "All right, let's go." So I got my boy Direct and my man Anthony Commodore. They helped me on the project. They
Mhm.
both taught me a lot. So I didn't know anything hands on
Wow.
about shots and all this kind of stuff, and I gotta give it to my man Direct. He gonna get the shot. He did a shot. He slid down the steps on his chest with the camera, and I was like, "Bro, like yeah, he gonna get the shot." So they taught me a lot as well. You just on that, we shot that in like I think it was like one weekend. We
Wow.
shot it and learned a lot from that, and moved on to my feature. But the reception was really well. It got like 27,000 views on YouTube.
Man, that's
A lot of views piled up quickly. Um, and it was a great experience. I was
mhm.
proud of myself that I was able to get it done, and it actually made me hungry for more. Like I
Right.
wanted to know more. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to be around people that knew more than me to teach me. And
Mhm.
that's my whole team now. My whole team now has been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And they are teaching me every day certain things, even down to now into being a sales rep for distribution. One of my
Mm.
guys, James, taught me the game. My guy Dirk, my DP, taught me the game.
Okay.
And so and I'm sure we'll get to that in a second as well. But that short film was my springboard to say I love making movie magic. I thought I loved stage plays. Oh no,
Yeah.
movie magic is it.
That was just the setup for you to transition to where you're at today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it taught you the fundamentals. You knew all the ins and outs of stage production. You knew how, where to place everybody, how all the moving parts are supposed to work.
Hmm.
Some of that is, can also transition into the production of a film, where
Yeah.
you have to stay organized. You have to know when certain things supposed to happen, in what order. You're supposed to film everything, what angles you need, so all of that. And so that was just the, you know you following up with what you've been able to obtain thus far,
Yeah.
and now this is the progression. And so
Yeah.
now that progression is into film, and you do your short, and now you're getting ready to work on your feature. um, Before we get to the feature, you have a book called Entanglement.
Hmm.
um, I saw online that it's a re-release, or that you're re-releasing it. Um, had you written that book before you got to your first feature? That's the question.
So during the pandemic, I wrote the film Entanglement. You can see it right here behind me. This is the first poster for it. I
Okay.
wrote the film Entanglement during the pandemic.
Okay.
Came out of the pandemic, couldn't shoot the film or anything, and my wife kind of was like, "Man, you should turn that into a book, baby."
Mm,
And I thought about it, so I flipped it right into a book and
right.
released the book. Um, the book got rave reviews, and then I relaunched it. I relaunched it again because I had to change the cover because the
Okay.
cover was too graphic for Amazon and certain sites.
Right.
So
Right.
I changed the cover to a more of a romantic, kind of cleaner novel looking cover.
Right.
Um, and then it just got put on audiobook. So that's why I relaunched it
Hmm.
on audiobook. The audiobook is doing pretty good, better than paperback sales.
So you have somebody actually doing the voiceovers, or is that you like reading it as the audiobook?
No,
How?
I went to a website and hired a voiceover person to do the voiceover work for Entanglement.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and this website is connected to Audible, so they have people who work directly from them, and
Uh,
that's who was selected to I selected to do the reading for the book, and then it got released.
wow. That's awesome,
That,
man.
so
That's cool.
that was the relaunch that you saw. It was relaunched on Amazon and Audible and iTunes.
Okay. Okay. So my next question then is, who is the milkman?
So the Milkman was derived from a book written by Dr. Hugh Weathers.
Mhm.
He wrote a book titled Can Pulp Colored The Milkman. And it's a vigilante kind of action book that he wrote some years ago. Um, and it was his dream to get it turned into a film. And he was, looking for people to produce the film, couldn't find anybody. People was, messing around, wasn't giving him the runaround, all that good stuff. And
Mhm.
he got in touch with me through a mutual friend, and he didn't have much money really to get it done. He had, he had a little bit of change, not a lot. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it for you. He was like, "You
Wow.
can you get it done?" I said, "Yeah, I can get it done." This is my first time doing a feature. I just did my short film,
Right.
but now it's a feature film now. So now we got
Yeah.
so I had to really stay within his budget. Good, luckily, through my man James, I got the DP I have now, Derek.
Mhm.
He was able to work with us. Came down from New Jersey with his whole crew, and man, we got it done. So the Milkman is Dr. Weathers. He
Okay.
calls himself he's the Milkman, but that was the name of his book.
Right.
In the film, Cross Thompson plays the Milkman.
Yeah. I actually thought it was pretty good, man. I I took my time and I watched it. And I like how everything plays out. I like the acting. Um, and without me even really knowing much about your writing, your screenwriting, and like the dialogue, or even knowing anything about the story of the Milkman, um, I thought you did a really good job, especially for your first feature. That's
Yeah,
that's
thank you,
crazy.
man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I got a lot of people, producers that are up there reached
Uh-huh.
out and said, good job for your first one. Good job.
Exactly.
Like, you really did a good job on your first one. And it just, and one producer said in particular, you just let me know that you could do it.
Hmm.
And so that made me feel good. My wife is my biggest critic.
Yeah.
My wife she watches movies and stuff. And she's like, this ain't good. And when she watched The Milkman, I thought she was gonna be like, say something, but she literally said, "Baby, this is good. You really did good. I'm not just saying it because I'm your no, because she'll tell me the truth."
Right.
She said, "You really did good." So I was proud of that. That a lot of people thought it was pretty good. Of course, I see on social media people clowning it and that's so
Uh,
stupid and all that, but I'm the kind of person that's white noise. I don't even worry about that. I'm
right. And
focused.
not only that, do they have a movie? Did they
No,
write something? Did they
no,
produce something? Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's gonna you're gonna have lovers and you're gonna have haters.
true
You
that.
know that
That's
you
right.
just utilize that hate to fuel you to move forward.
Yeah,
You use
that's
that
it.
as fuel.
Yeah,
And yeah, so yeah, we never pay attention to the haters, man.
none of that. None of that. Okay.
For Entanglement, you are now filming, or you are now working on the beginning stages of filming for a film called Gina, which is based on the book Entanglement.
Yeah.
Uh, are you able to talk a little bit about that?
So we're gearing up to shoot that April May time frame. Right
Okay.
now, I'm actually this week. I went through the first round of submissions. We
Hmm.
had about 489 submissions.
Wow.
So I went through the first round this week. Narrowed it all the way down to like 100 and something.
Wow.
And I'm going back next week. I'm gonna go back through again and narrow it down some more. We got some really like talented people
Hmm.
in this region. Like I know a lot of actors from stage plays and all that for years, but seeing I'm big on new faces.
Right.
I
Right.
don't want to keep using the same people. I want new faces.
Hmm.
And so that's the thing going through the first round of the submissions. I saw a lot of faces that I always see, um, but there was a lot of new faces that I've
Yeah.
never seen. That from Philly and from Richmond, Virginia. Like I'm like, oh wow, and their reels are nice.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, on here for my actors, real quick.
Sure.
Actors, when you submit actors, submit a headshot, resume, and your reel.
Yes.
The reason why we want to see your reel is we want to see if you have range. We want to see you in action.
Hmm.
The days of just a headshot with a resume is kind of like, thank you.
Right.
Now I got to call you and do a Zoom call to see you do a monologue. I can see that on your reel and I can know if I want to use you or not, just like that. So start working on your reels, actors. Get your reels together.
Yeah.
Just had to say that
Absolutely.
real quick for some actors.
No, and I'm glad that you said that because and I'm gonna clip that little piece up and post that on social media because it is very important that actors know that and put themselves out there a little
Yeah,
bit more. Don't be afraid. Don't just send a picture. Don't just send a resume. But to your point, we want to see you in action. We want to
yeah,
see your acting chops, what you can deliver,
yeah,
and it it sets you apart. If you are the person that's submitting more material for us to view, we're going to
yeah,
consider you first, or before the person that only sends a picture and the resume,
yeah,
because we're actually seeing more from you than the person that we have to follow up with and make time and
yeah.
and all
Oh
of
yeah,
those and
oh yeah.
all of that time adds up and it matters, it counts. So
Yes.
the less that we have to do and the more that you provide for us, the better.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
um so okay, so what did it let me ask you this, what is it out of your actors that you look for talent wise?
I look for range.
Hmm.
Like I know a lot of actors that when they take a character and the moment they start reading for the character, I watch them, and
Hmm.
then I notice you're being you. I'm looking for the character that I wrote. You see the description, right? You
Right.
read that description, get into your mind. Who is this character? How would they do this? Come out of yourself to become this character. If you just reading it as Kevin, that ain't. I don't want Kevin. I want the character.
Hmm.
So let me see you bring this character to life, Kevin, which is actually the character's name is Tommy. So
Right.
I'm gonna call you Tommy every time I see you, just so you can become this character. So that's what
Right.
I look for. I look for characters to become the character, and then when
Yeah.
it's over, you can take it off.
Yeah. Talking to a lot of people, I'm really learning this, you know, putting it on and taking it off of the character.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
it's a serious thing, especially when you're dealing with heavy material.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's definitely something that you have to uh, practice and also
Mhm.
practice taking
Like for
off.
instance, I'll take a funny comedian and put him in
Hmm.
the movie
Hmm.
and switch him into a darker side person
Right. Yes.
just to show his range. Like
Mm.
for instance, Dion Cole is funny as a mug,
Yeah.
but in
Color
um
purple.
no what's not Color Purple, the BT Plus. Oh my, it just slipped my mind. Um,
Oh, man, I forgot the name of the show, but I know what you're
it's that
talking about.
quick. But anyway, he
Yeah.
plays this darker character.
Yes.
He kills it. That's range. When Denzel Washington first took the role in Training Day, people
Yeah.
was like, I don't like that role for Denzel. He shouldn't do that role. But he killed it.
Yeah. He killed it. Absolutely.
That's range. That's what I'm looking for. Range.
Hmm.
Can you cry? Can you laugh? Can you really carry this role? Can you improvise in ways to bring it to life more? That's what I'm looking for when I'm looking
Yeah.
at a character. So if you're just doing acting as a hobby, I can read you right off the break. You're not here for real. This ain't what you
Hmm.
really want to do. You just this ain't what you're really doing.
Right.
So what I look for in actors is range. If that answers the question.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It absolutely does. And that's perfect. Um, okay. Let's see. Okay. So Gina is a V3 film production or a V3 production.
Yeah,
Am I saying that correct? Is that the name of your production studio or production house? Is it
yeah.
V3
V3
production?
Productions. Yeah, V3 Productions. Yeah.
Okay. Um, what made you want to start your own production company?
I think for me, it is, like I said earlier, putting the hands back into putting the power back into the hands of the independent.
Oh, yes.
So, do you know how long I went through a period of time where I kept asking to get for a seat at the table, where I kept reaching out to these producers. I got this content. I would love to come work, and kind of getting the stiff arm or, oh, I'm gonna get to you, and then it doesn't never. So I watched a video that Marlon Wayans did,
Mhm.
and Marlon Wayans was talking about, stop waiting on what you waiting on Hollywood for, what you waiting on these other people for. Just start your own.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it, and that's what really propelled me to really want to start my own. I mean, I always had my own, even in stage plays with Vernon Williams Presents was my stage play company, and
Mhm.
so I always had my own. But the film thing, I was like, maybe I just partner with somebody. No, 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 no. You can build your own.
Right.
In this day of the independent, you can build your own, start your own, make your own. You can do it, and you can own your own.
Absolutely.
If you apply yourself, you can own your own. So that's what I studied to do, to own my own, and talking to producers in Hollywood, and my mentor David E. Talbert, talking to people to just like, what you waiting for? You
Yeah.
got everything you need to have right up here, right in here. You got it. What are you waiting for? Because ain't nobody gonna come give you or bring you nothing.
Mhm.
You got to go get it. So for me, that's what made me want to start my own. I wanted to go get it. I wanted to build something that my grandkids could be proud of. My grandson, when I'm in here writing and working, he comes in my office and he'll stand right next to me, like, and I'll pull a chair so he can sit right here with me. And he just watch me typing.
Yeah.
He just loves it. So I got pictures of him in my office that I'm gonna show him later on down the line. Like, look at you when you was little in my office with me.
That's
But
all.
yeah, man, and to create something from your own and build something from your own, it's just an awesome thing. So,
Mhm.
I'd rather have my own production company so I can do things in house distribution, all that good stuff, and to where I can also create opportunities for independent filmmakers. Because I'm gonna be honest, any filmmaker out here can put their own stuff on platforms
Right.
through Film Hub and all that. You can do your own thing. But there's
Mhm.
a lot of film that I get that reach out to me to say, I don't feel like doing all that, bro. I just rather have you do it for me. Cool, let's go.
Not
I,
not
I,
everybody wants to take the time to learn. They want to skip steps, and it, to a degree, that's not hate on people who don't want to be involved
yeah,
in that part, because it's not for everyone. But at the
amen.
same time, everybody wants the instant gratification. We live in a microwave world right now, to where
Yeah,
it has to happen instantly.
yeah,
Um, Whereas if you just, like, to your point, if you take the time, take the steps, do your homework, do your due diligence, you actually get there. If you just put the time and the work and the effort in.
yeah,
Um, but I love the fact that you said all of that, as far as, owning your own and doing it yourself, and learning how to be independent, and be sustainable independent.
mhm.
Um, to which I want to kind of shift a little bit and ask you also, what is Exodus Media Group?
So Exodus Media Group is our branch of distribution. I've made relationships over the past several months with various networks,
Yes.
various aggregators, various direct distributors, to where my poster I put up now with all the networks on it. I'm able to distribute to those platforms
Mhm.
via an aggregator or direct distributor now.
Wow.
So I got into that because talking to filmmakers who are getting robbed.
Yeah.
Like, I know some filmmakers right now that are in a 7-year deal. They got $5,000 up front, and that's all they're going to ever see.
Wow.
And they didn't realize until a lawyer looked at the contract and said, "You ain't see this right here? They got ownership of your product. That 5,000 they gave you is all you gonna see." And then they like, "Oh man, my deals are non-exclusive, 10%. That's it. And I'm gonna get you on the platform, and you're gonna make some money."
Wow. Yeah.
So because I truly want to help the independent filmmaker. I don't want to take your money. I don't want to do none of that. I want to help you. Now, do I want to get paid for the little bit of stuff I got to get done to get it on the platform for you? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And my time, oh yeah. But I
Mhm.
don't want to rob you. Not at all. Mm-mm. I want to see you succeed.
Right. Yeah. Um, would you consider yourself a great alternative to platforms like Tubi that are now dialing back on their independent content?
Yes, because I have other aggregators and other direct distributors that can get it on platforms other than Tubi. Like I had a meeting today with an independent black network that's growing, and out in LA, and we were on the phone today talking about me being a sales rep, distributing films to them.
I think
And
I think I may know who you're talking about. I could be wrong, but I won't say it here because I know you still got the inner workings. So we can
yeah,
talk
yeah,
offline
so
about that.
we can talk offline, or if you're going to edit this, I can say it, and you can just edit it out, just so you know.
Yeah, either
Um,
way, it's fine.
because a lot of people say to me now, "Man, I don't want to go through Film Hub." Don't worry about that. We ain't got to worry about that. I got a whole nother avenue that we ain't got to worry about that. I got
Yeah.
4 other avenues that we ain't got to worry about that. For me, I'm just trying to build these relationships with these networks,
Hmm.
get them good content.
Hmm.
And I always tell my filmmakers, reach out to me. This is one thing I say to them because I hear people say, "Well, I'm gonna be the Tubi king. Well, I'm gonna be the Tubi queen." And this is
Yeah.
what I say to filmmakers: make movies. I mean,
Hmm.
this is what I say: don't make movies for Tubi. Make movies.
Yeah.
Period. See, Tubi is changing. They're not accepting anything anymore. You got
Hmm.
to pass QC now because they're stepping their game up. All it's telling independent filmmakers is step your game up.
Right.
Get your production together. Get your sound right. Don't have your sound all over the place. Get your
Hmm.
film colored. Like it's things that people are taking shortcuts. No, you got to go to this next level. You got to get these things done. People might tell you, "I can shoot your film for 10,000." Okay, go ahead. That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, you're gonna get what you pay for.
So I mean, but I had to learn these things, Kevin, and man, you know, uh, people are teaching me now how to shoot films at a lower budget with still great quality.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and I'm being taught that. And that's what I stamp in blueprint is when you come to me, I'm not gonna tell you you need all this. I'm gonna not tell you that. I'm gonna give
Hmm.
you a number that you're gonna say, "What?" And I'm gonna show you we're gonna get it done because of the relationships I have
Hmm.
with people now. Um, and I believe in building with people outside of the DMV. I
Yeah,
just do.
absolutely. You have to.
I do. My
Yeah.
whole team is outside of DMV pretty much,
Hmm.
and they come in town and we get to work.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I love. Um, they came in town to work with me on the Milkman, and like call us for in. They fell in love with my wife. She took care of everybody. Everybody ate good and was treated well, and they just had a great time on our set. And we pride ourselves with that family experience, but also sticking to the business.
Right.
So
Right.
and now, man, we have a production house that we're connected to in Jersey with SWAT vehicles and all kind of things. We got cameras out the yin yang, drones. I mean, we have the whole yin yang uh, through my relationship with these brothers, and and I got to say, man, with my relationship now with the guys in Atlanta, yeah,
Wow. So let me backtrack real quick. You kind of touched on it briefly, but are you able to describe maybe in a nutshell, like what are some of the specs that you have to get your movie to some of these streaming platforms. I know a lot of reason why people chose Tubi, because Tubi didn't really have a lot of those specifications in place, and so they were allowing a lot of things to just go up and churn out money, and that was making money for Tubi through advertising dollars. Of course, it was making some money for some films, but
Mm-hmm.
may not be for everybody. But as a whole, the amount of content that was submitted to Tubi over the past 2 to 3 years, um, they've definitely amassed a lot. To your point of you know submitting to a lot of these streaming platforms, can you describe in a nutshell what some of the specifications are to get to some of these platforms that are outside of Tubi? Because you know a lot of the reason why Tubi became popular is you could bypass some of those specs and still submit your film onto Tubi. And so we found that as a quick alternative to get our film project out there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And
but moving forward, our people, our culture, black and brown people, people who are underrepresented, we need to know what the specifications are to get our films onto some of these larger platforms or some of these other platforms, to where we don't have to depend on just one platform to get our film project out there.
as far as specs, number one, see, with Tubi, you don't have to have E&O insurance and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But these bigger platforms, if they're trying to get it to a bigger platform like a CW, if they're trying to get it to a Hulu or people like that, they want you to have E&O insurance, just to have to have it. E&O insurance isn't expensive at all, but you should have it anyway. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Your poster, certain things when it come to your poster, your project could get rejected because of your poster, your artwork. If your artwork isn't professionally done, if it has names all over the poster, they're gonna reject it. Your poster should have just be the poster and the title. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't gotta have who the main act. They can see their faces on the poster. That's all you gotta have is have that. Some people get away with that, but to go to these bigger platforms, they're gonna kick the poster back. They're not gonna want it. So just submit it like that, just in case the bigger platform will like it. You're submitted the correct way.
Right.
When it comes to your sound, that's the number one thing right there. That's what
Absolutely.
that'll get your film not even looked at, because the volume is all over the place throughout the whole film. Or you can hear the refrigerator in the background. You can hear you shooting in somebody's house and the smoke detector is beeping. Take the battery out. Reshoot the scene. Like, you gonna really leave that just go beep in the background? When I see films like that, I just be like, come on, y'all. It's
Oh,
it's those things. Get your film sound mixed.
right.
Get your film edited by just because you know how to edit, don't mean you should edit.
Mm-hmm.
Get it edited by a professional editor. Get it colored. You want your film colored. You want to step the game up, because this is what they're looking for out of us.
Right.
And I'm saying us because we not doing these things. We just trying to submit things for Tubi. But Tubi's shocking people now. They're not taking it no more. Now you're looking for alternative.
Yeah.
Man, I get stuff somewhere else. You gotta step it up.
Right.
You gotta step it up. So those things, man, I'm gonna say definitely number one, your sound.
Mm-hmm.
Get your sound mastered to where all your levels are the same. To
Right.
where when music comes on, it's not way louder than, have it leveled to where it's, get it mastered.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there's sound technicians, audio technicians out here that does sound professionally. Like the Milkman was sound mastered in India.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
My guys in India, the Patel brothers, vicious.
man.
It was so many sound problems in their shoot, and I was afraid we had the ADR or had the reshoot stuff.
Mm.
They said, "No worries, my friend," and they was not playing, because when they sent it back, you saw it for yourself. It
Yeah.
was
Oh,
clean.
great quality. And then also, just to your point, and this is just on the basic level, even if you're not dealing in film and television, one of the things, if even if you were just trying to do YouTube videos, one of the things that they tell you, number one, is that if your audio is trash, people will not tune in. So your audio has to be tip top, high tier, good quality, no background noise. To like you said, um, that comes first. We can deal with a little bit of fuzziness or haziness in the picture, but if the
Mm-hmm.
audio is bad, then we're not going to sit there and listen for 60 minutes
Yeah.
or an hour and 30 minutes of bad audio. We're not
Yeah,
doing that.
you're right. And that's the first thing that these distributors are looking for. As soon as they listen for your audio,
Hmm.
they want to make sure the audio is right. Um, I have people submitting now that I got to tell them straight up, like, I can't do nothing with that because you got to get their audio fixed.
Right.
And then your production, like, you look like you shot it with a cell phone.
Hmm.
Um, like, it's, I don't know, the production quality just isn't there. So, get that tightened up and then come back and holler at me. We can see what we can do. Because I know what these aggregators, even to Film Hub, I know
Hmm.
what they're looking for. So you trying to go to you coming to me saying, "Man, I'm gonna see my film get on Netflix or All Black." Well, your film is not even ready for Tubi yet.
Right.
I mean, you got to be honest with people. So and tell them the truth. Don't try to say, "Oh man, this on fire," and you get it for distribution, and nobody's picking it up, and they, man, what's up with my film? Why it ain't? You
Right.
already know why it ain't, but you lied to them.
Hmm.
So, I like how the guy that told me that, distributed the Milkman for me and showed me the way, James, man. James was straight up honest all the time. Nah, Vita, they're not gonna go for that. You need this right here, like this. And
Hmm.
it worked out. It's just what he said. So, like I said, thankful for him even showing me to the guy Dirk, my DP. That's my man now. And Dirk is continuing to teach me stuff till this day. We
Yeah.
have phone conversations. He's sharing things with me, so always be learning. As soon as you feel like, I don't need this, I don't need that. I mean, I know that already.
Hmm.
You lost.
Right.
You
Yeah.
lost. This game is an organism. It's living. It's always changing. So you got to change with it. You got to keep learning with it, or you're gonna be wondering, man, why everybody moving forward? I'm still sitting here because you're not willing to keep learning. You think you know everything.
Are you looking for specific content to submit to these platforms, or your project just has to come ready, packaged, ready to go, and we send it out there, and whoever accepts, accepts, and then we come back to you and tell you these are the platforms that are going to pick up your project.
For me, I would say, well, we don't do short films. Got to be
Okay.
feature films, at least 80 minutes long.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, any genre. So, um, urban films, rom coms, thrillers, horror.
Hmm.
Uh, I just got a zombie apocalypse film recently that I'll be announcing shortly. Um,
Wow.
uh, so, any genre as long as it's feature.
Okay.
Uh, now some, I know some aggregators are looking for certain things right now.
Hmm.
They'll shoot me an email and say, "Hey, if you got these, send them to me." Like right now, I'm gonna give you a right now. Nollywood.
Oh yeah, Nigeria is they are
Hey,
exploding.
I got a dude just sent me 30 films.
Yes, and that's because they really don't have an outlet in Africa. And I picked up on that. I went to the PG Film Festival,
Mhm.
um, and that was one of my questions. One of my last questions to you was I saw that you partnered with the diaspora African Diaspora TV Network.
Yep.
I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but um, I thought it was interesting because they do have a boatload of projects and they do want their content seen,
Mhm.
but they don't really have. They were talking, during the film festival, and they had the actor's name is I'm drawing a blank of the actor's name, but he's from Nigeria, and he was saying that they have limited theaters there, so to be able to even have a film shown at a theater is a special occasion.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that they're trying to change a lot of that, and about a way of changing that is to provide it to these streaming platforms and to make it more mainstream.
Yeah,
Um, so I thought that was pretty dope. That I saw that you are partnering with them to
yeah.
provide that. Yeah.
Yes, they partner with them to provide. Now for with them right now, they're in the process of switching over to a total fast channel.
Okay.
To be
Mhm.
more competition for like a Tubi.
Yes.
Um, and I won't say on here, but I'm doing a lot of behind the scenes things for them, um, getting them partnered to a whole nother network right
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
So you know, that's why for me, my whole focus now is making films, but then this distribution piece,
Yeah.
this acquisitions piece that I'm really studying right now. Because in talking to these networks and they saying, Vernon, if you can get these for us, if you can get these for us, and I got this stuff lined up right now that I'm about to be getting to them as soon as we get these contracts signed.
Okay.
But like I said a minute ago, Nollywood. If anybody out here got Nollywood films that you're trying to get out, he'll put my contact information. Hit me.
It's
we
it's going to be in the description. It's going to be in the description
yeah,
because we definitely need to make that happen.
yeah, we're looking for Nollywood films big time.
Okay. What if you don't mind me asking? What is the turnaround that when they are asking for specific films? How fast are they looking for them to be turned around, or for you to provide them back?
So for me, they don't really give me a timetable to get them to them.
Okay.
Um, so I would say this: say today is Friday.
Hmm.
Say I submit a film today. Boom, they get it. It takes them about 2 weeks to 30 days to look at it and then pitch it.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
once it gets pitched out, they let me know, hey, we pitched it out to this, and this networks. Okay,
Right.
cool. Then probably about 30 days after that, you'll probably hear back, or 2 weeks, 30 days after that, you'll hear back, hey, this network picked it up.
Hmm.
So from the time it's submitted to me, submitted to the aggregator or the direct distributor, to the time it's on TV, you're looking at about 60 days probably or less.
Okay. And these
Especially,
are these
especially if
are.
they have names in it.
I'm sorry, I said that last part.
Especially if they have names in it.
Okay. And these are projects that are already produced. They're already done. They're already packaged and ready to go. These aren't they're not looking for scripts or things that need to still go into production, right? They're looking for
No,
something that's already ready to go.
yeah, mostly now is completed projects.
Completed projects. Okay.
Because they know now a lot of people are just getting their own project shot.
Hmm.
So a lot of people aren't funding projects per
Right.
se, unless you get with a BT Plus or BT,
Right.
and you got some money already coming, and they're giving some money to you or something like that. But um, all of the aggregators and distributors that I work with completed projects only.
Okay.
And now if you have a project that has names in it, and it's really gonna hit when it comes out, but you can't get it finished with distribution,
Hmm.
I have somebody that can help get it finished.
Okay. Okay.
But it has to be one of those projects that got
Name.
names in it,
Mhm.
great quality production. You just on like the act 3 of distribution, you can't get it finished because the funding ran out. I got somebody that can get it finished and get it distributed for you, but they're gonna get their money out of distribution.
Yeah, of
But
course.
they'll get it done for you. But it has to be one of those top quality ones, one of those ones with names and that they know when they put it out there, it's gonna rock. So it got to
Yeah.
be that kind of level project for them to take it. If it doesn't, you got to go get it finished first before you can submit it.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you, what is next for Vernon Williams III? I know you have your feature film, Gina, that you're working on. You're re-releasing your book, or you have re-released your book. You have this distribution aspect. Um, what is next?
Just making more movies. Partnering. I'm partnering right now with a couple of other production companies. Um, to where we're going to come together and just make movies together. We've been talking about it for a few months, and now we're really going to make it happen. So for me, it's just making more movies. Uh, focusing on distribution, helping other filmmakers get their films out,
Mhm.
and just being creative. Just being creative. That's what's next for me. Staying focused. In the V3 Productions, Exodus Media Lane, going down the highway, not paying attention to the white noise, just rolling. And
Yeah,
that's where I am. Just staying in my creative lane. Um, that's what's next for me, man. Just keeping it going. Keep writing.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, Vernon, there's one last thing that I have all of my guests do, and that is the final word, where I allow you to either give a piece of advice, words of encouragement, or a quote that you like to live by. Any of those three, or it can be all three. It's up to you.
I would say a couple of quotes that I always say people that do in my stage play time. People who may hear this doing stage plays and know, yeah, Vernon always say that. A couple of quotes for me is my main one is if you're afraid to start, you're already finished.
Mm,
You gotta get started. You gotta get started. Don't worry about if you're doing it right. Just do it.
hmm
You can figure out to do it to fix it later, like a first draft of a script. It ain't right the first time. You got to go back a few times, but just get it started. That's one. Two, like I said a minute ago, make movies. Don't just make movies for Tubi. Like make movies with great stories.
mm.
Our stories. Tell our stories. Make them great though. And then, if you don't have anything to be thankful for, check your pulse.
Mm.
If
Yeah,
you can
man.
wake up every morning, when you wake up in the morning, you should be. I don't care what you facing. Be thankful that you woke up. Check your pulse. And thank you, Jesus. It's beating. Let's go.
Right.
And you got to just stay positive. Always stay positive. Keep the negativity away. All that stuff, man. Have peace of mind. You got peace of mind. You can be creative. You really can. Stay out the way.
Yeah.
Stay out the way.
Absolutely, man. Well, Vernon Williams, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your knowledge and expertise, and being open and transparent with a lot of the things that you have going on. Um, I always look at doing this as a means to giving back to our community by providing information that we otherwise would not know or have, especially in a central location. That's part of what I do with the Black Script. So I truly commend what it is that you're doing. Definitely keep going, keep building your production company, your films, keep growing there, but also definitely take the time and continue to learn the distribution end of it, because we need more distributors also, that are in for people of color,
Yeah.
um, and other underrepresented groups, because we are the class and the group of people that always often get overlooked,
Yeah.
and we don't really get a chance, and when we do, it's one or two films, maybe a handful of films a year, and everybody else gets the largest slice of the pie. So
Yeah, man. Yeah.
it's time to shift that and make a difference for our community and just overall in TV and film and the TV and film industry as a
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to say I commend you for everything that you're doing, man, and keep it up.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. Like I said earlier in the beginning, I said it in our messages back and forth. I appreciate you for reaching out to me. I feel honored because I see some of your interviews and I'm like, yo, he's interviewing this person. Even to my guys, man. Shaka, Harold Jackson. You
Yes.
know, man, I look at them guys, man, and I give them straight salutes. Like, yo, they killing it. And for me, that's inspirational for me. I look at that and like, man, especially like Harold, man. Harold came out the gate,
He's
and I
killing.
said, "Ooh, that brother killing it." So I salute them brothers, man. Mitch Credo, the OGs. I
Mm,
submit these guys, salute these guys, man, because they paving the way and they
right,
showing you that, man. Step your game up.
right,
Step your game up. I'm gonna say for at least for Harold Jackson, he's really stepped your game up. And you know, so I salute these brothers, man, that's really doing it. Everybody out here making movies, stage plays, everything. I applaud everybody.
Yes.
Keep on rocking. Let's put the DMV on the map bigger than it is in this film and entertainment game. Let's make it happen.